Hello people that in the house are doing. We wanted to do this video for a long time. It's about my political career. I'll talk about that for a few minutes. So basically, I'm political active for the last 5 years. In County Cavan and Monaghan. I've always challenged people to, people in authority, people in power. I always challenge the authorities. Always have challenged, big industries, big companies, TDs, decisions, senators, things like that. I've always challenged them. Admittedly, and I might say straight, for the first 2 years, I was kind of nervous and afraid, I suppose, to say really much or to do much, and because the Irish political system is a bit toxic sometimes, especially when you go against two big parties, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, you're not going to have a good time, to be honest with you, in anything. Because I say it straight, really, I don't like Fine Gael. I might be honest straight. But you're not really going to go anywhere if you say that. And obviously, for the first 2 years, I kind of kept my mouth shut and didn't say much. We said the odd few things, but it wasn't as bad as I am now. I suppose that's what someone would probably phrase. Look at this fella was as bad. This fella was as bad as the next week. But yeah. So I started off. The first thing. The first major obstacle in my political career was the Catholic Church, and that's what they said was abuse in the Catholic Church, was clergy abuse, and obviously sexual abuse from back years ago, and obviously going through files and bringing people that priests that were dead, defaming their names, I suppose, because obviously they've done crimes, and obviously the people only spoke up when the priest died and things like that, and these people were hailed as heroes, these priests, and unfortunately a good lot of them did abuse loads of children, and you got off with what he didn't suffer for it. And they were suffering in the end, and I believe they did suffer in the end. As I'm sure God will give out to them and teach them a lesson for their sins. But it just goes to show you, that was very some of the things we read in diaries, and some of the things you read from these people were hard and very upsetting. For the first thing, first time in my political career, you read stories of priests, what they were doing, and to these young girls and these young boys, even some young boys, and you were just it was really disturbing. That did disturb me for a long time, because that was my first political obstacle, I suppose. It was very, very harsh. It was very, very difficult. And then to meet 2 or 3 survivors of clergy abuse was extremely difficult. It was very, very difficult. What could you say? What could you say that the state turned a blind eye to it? Because it was true that the state that looked away and let it happen. And as simple as that, and when it wasn't right, and these people who came forward, unfortunately, I wish they came forward before these priests that passed away, because we could have brought them to justice, but we didn't. And the state failed them, and the system failed them. But it was difficult. That was my first political thing, and it was very, very harsh. And I really sympathise with anybody who experienced clergy abuse or anything like that. Because it was hard to read some of the stuff you had to read, and it was difficult looking at some of the evidence. It was heartbreaking. Then obviously the second major thing, I suppose, that I started campaigning about was illegal dumping litter or things like that. We can find them at this Greta Thunberg and the skies. If you may say that. But yeah, that's something I always still to this day, and that's what kind of got me into the tiny towns and different things like that. So I'm a huge supporter of the tiny towns too. That's something. The second thing, the biggest challenge, I obviously was annoying the local authorities to do more about illegal dumping, but that didn't go too far, because they wouldn't. They're not really too bothered. Let's put it that way. My goal, I suppose, was to encourage more people to do tiny towns, the towns to start up tiny towns, and get more people active in tiny towns across and take pride in the communities. And obviously that succeeded, because Buttersbridge Tiny Towns formed, and we are delighted, because I was one of the main reasons why we formed it. So it was great. It was great to have good input in that. And other tiny towns took inspiration from the Buttersbridge Tiny Towns and started their tiny towns back up too, which was great. And so it was kind of a chain reaction too. So it was good, and it was a good chain reaction. And then obviously there's other things, like there's small other things, like there was sometimes traffic problems, things like that. There were obstacles I faced too. A few times, at schools, obviously I talked about them, the blind spots and no several crossings, things like that. They were the things I really dealt with too for a long time. And obviously different things like different court cases, crime, different things like that I dealt with them. Like last year, there's unfortunately, there was a war kind of in the Ballycolumn, this area of Cavan, between a gang who were attacking Quindawet, and obviously, I got involved in that, and we got involved as the county councillors, and we got involved in that, and we dealt with that, and 4 people up in custody now, but so it's good that they got the people, and hopefully they suffer for it. Obviously there were things, very things we had to deal with. And as the young person, it's very hard to be everywhere and to do everything. It's hard. Like, you can criticize politicians as much as, like, I consider you criticize politicians as much as I can, but some of them are able to, I commend them, because sometimes, you do feel overwhelmed. Like, there was 2 or 3 weeks, a few weeks ago, there was 16 or 17 things I had to go through, and it was very overwhelming. Like, the amount of stuff, especially because I'm on my own. The rest of them have staffs, like Neve Smith is the local TD, Fianna Fáil TD for Cavan and Mall and the Westmead. She has a huge amount of staff, and same with Brenda Smith, head of hub, for all the TDs, nearly all the county councillors too in Cavan have 2 secretaries, or 3 secretaries at most. And I'm on my own. I'm not really technically a county councillor, but you could call me technically one. Technically, you can call me technically if you want to be. Like 50-50. Let's put it that way. Political activist is basically the same thing, but obviously, I'm the only political activist that's been a nuisance, which is a good thing. It's always good to have some healthy opposition to the main political parties, I'm sure. But they're the major things I really dealt with. But the first major thing that really took bits out of me was the dealing with the Catholic Church. Because before that, I was kind of a bit religious. Kind of poisoned me a bit towards the Catholic Church, and I kind of didn't see priests and nuns, as people of God anymore. I kind of only believed in the God above. I didn't believe that they were, like, there's some good. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean the black and priests and nuns named. I met a good lot of good priests in my life. I've done amazing stuff for me. Father Cumberski in Milltown, great priest. I met him many times. And he's done so much great work. And it's just a credit to him. Especially with the Quinn disputes going on. So I met so many great priests, who were just inspiration to the communities around them and everything. And obviously they were very, very vocal on the people that abuse people in the Catholic Church and everything. But very vocal, like Father Cumberski, who denounced them many times on the altar about it. And not many priests would have the guts to say straight about the wrongs in the Catholic Church. And he did. And he took it to Rome. Priests like that are very hard to come by. So really appreciative of him. But it's difficult. It's not easy. Because you deal with some people that don't want to live in a society where there's peace and understanding, and you live in a society where some people in this society want to try and cause harm to people and try to annoy people, and just try to cause an uproar and try to cause trouble, and try to break the way of life. For people in this county, and it's difficult. It's difficult to, trying to take where they're coming from, why they're doing this, but as a county as a political activist in Cavan, you have to understand everybody's point of view. You have to get everybody's point of view, and then you make a decision. I'm not one person who just go to one person and be like, I'm taking your decision. I go to everybody. If there's a decision that has to be made, I go to everybody. I talk to everybody. I'm like, I hear everybody's side of the story, and then I'm like, yeah, that's okay. That's I don't do everything like that. I don't side with one person. I always give everybody a fair say, no matter what it is. I always do my best, and that's basically the truth. And I always do my best, and I always do the best to to represent people to the best of my abilities. And obviously the great thing about being a political activist too, you get to meet so many amazing people. I can't tell you how many amazing people I've met in my life that have done amazing things for their culture and for their communities and everything. I was fortunate to meet so many brave people who are unfortunately disabled, and they still have such a positive and such a nice attitude around them and such a great feeling around them. And it's really hard, woman. You can see I'm about to break down because I'm remembering a few of them, and very hard, woman. And in their situation, it's difficult. It's difficult. But it just goes to show you they fight through, and they're amazing people to meet. And I many times I met a good few of them, and of the Irish Wheelchair Association, different things like that. And it's, you know, it's a credit to them, and it's really, you know, I'm very astounded by the stories and, you know, how they deal with day-to-day life. It's, you know, it's amazing working with amazing people. So, you know, it's great to meet people like that, and it's always great to meet people, to understand people, to get, you know, everybody's story. You know, everybody has a story to tell, and I can't find my pen. I lost my pen, but anyway, it's just so great. And then you meet so many brilliant people who just done so much work for communities. You meet so many people who work with charities who do great stuff. And then you meet people that you know, are doing sports activities, things like that. You're amazed by them. You're amazed by them, and then you meet so many people who've done great work in their local folk clubs, tidy towns, things like that. And it really is hard for them, because it's so good, you know, to meet people that have achieved so good in their life and have done the good things in life and have, you know, benefited many people around them. And, you know, it's so great. I'm always happy, and you can see it on my channel too. People who do great things, I always go out of my way, you know, to promote them as much as humanly possible. Like there was a girl, Sarah McCabe, you know, another shout out, but you know, she's working at our local tidy towns band, yeah. And you know, young people don't get mentioned that often. Young people always contributed to people causing trouble and things like that, smoke and things like that, crack. But you know, it goes unnoticed, people's work, young people's work, especially, and this is something that I always try to raise, that young people's work always goes unnoticed. Like people like this go unnoticed, and you know, I always try and, you know, say to people, you know, there's young people doing outstanding work in this community now. So many of them, but some young people I met, that are not listening to the rules and rather just live in their own world. But you know, we teach them a lesson, simple as that. But you know, there's so many good people. There's so many people that, you know, inspire you to push on. Like I met so many people who met the health problems. I know so many people. I witnessed so many suicides. I know so many people. I know, unfortunately, and knew a lot of people committed suicide. You know, something that's, you know, mental health struggles has always struggled with me, and always affected me, and still to this day affects me. And you know, and that's something that, you know, many, you know, TDs and many senators, you know, don't experience, because I know how it feels, and I know how low in your life you feel when you're in that situation. You know, and that's something that I can connect with people, and I can connect with the people. And you know, we kind of, the two of us have, you know, the two, like say if I'm talking to somebody and they talk to me, we talk about things, you know, we're the same lines, we're talking the same things, we felt the same way. You know, it's straight away you connect with people, you connect with them, and they understand you and you understand them, and it's a great feeling. Because many, you know, can't connect. Some people can't connect, and you know, it's great to have, you know, do that, because you get the feel, like yourself, and the other person gets the fear too, that, you know, that we're not the only people feeling that. There's many other people in the world feeling it, and that's something, you know, that money can't buy, that, you know, therapy can't buy. That's, you know, talking to people, and talk to people who live through it. And you know, there's many people I've met that, you know, just inspirations. Like there is another girl in Cavan, sorry I meant to say, in Bally Jim stuff, and she made a brilliant song. You Won't Stop Me. Ruby, she's from Bally Jim stuff in County Cavan. I'd love to meet her someday, because she's a very big inspiration for many people in that area, many people in our school, many people in our county. Brilliant singer. And I would say go check her channel, because I subscribe to her on YouTube. Go to my subscription and you should find her. Brilliant singer, you know, does her best, you know, and you know, promotes awareness and bullying, and you know, mental health problems. And it's just brilliant. It's really brilliant that she, you know, does this as a young girl using her voice. You know, and there's just so many, you know, like these people go unnoticed. And you know, the people who do bad in society always get, you know, all the fame and all the attention, but you know, people like this should get the attention. That's why I always try, you know, promote young people, and that's something I always have tried to do. I know I'm probably gone off topic a little bit, but I just felt like talking about it, because it's an interesting story. You know, it's a long story, my political career in the last 5 years. It's long stories, because I had so many ups and had so many downs, and I could stay here for 2 hours talking about it. But you know, it has been a very humbling experience for me. And has been, you know, very long, like something that, you know, you wouldn't expect from a politician. Like you expect you just to get your money, and you don't care after that. I don't get paid, but you know, that's what people take. But it's more to that. It's more to that. You meet some amazing people. You meet some amazing people that have done so much in life and have achieved so much, and you know, in so little times. And you know, it really brings a tear to your eye. And you know, we have, and I've seen it already, that you know, when we were talking about the wheelchair association involved, and I remember some of them people I met, and you know, then they can't walk. Some of them can't walk and they're in the wheelchair for the rest of their life. It's just amazing how they continue to go on and they continue to move on and continue to go to school and have such a positive attitude. And to put yourself into their shoes, you would be like, how could you do it, and how could you, move around? And it's so humbling. It's encouragement. It's encouragement to show that no matter what happens in life, there's always some way out of it. So it's just and that makes me happy. That makes a lot of people happy knowing that. So yeah, I rambled on enough. But it has been a great experience, and I continue to at this moment in time it has been a very worrying experience with the coronavirus now that it's very hard for political activists. We're not having too much power and obviously influence and trying to influence things to be done and measures to be taken. But you can only do your best, and that's all you can do. You can represent the people the best to your abilities, and that's all you can do. You can only do what you can. But yeah, hopefully that might explain to some people. I thought I'd just mention it. Because I always wanted to do a video talking about some of my experiences, but the main annoying, I suppose, upsetting moment was, dealing with the Catholic Church. Like that was, I can't even tell you, how much even I had bad dreams about it sometimes, and it was just a disgrace. How they were let off with it, and But anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, and bye.